Today, we've driven an hour away from our office to uninstall a kit for an unhappy customer. Luckily, the customer isn't ours originally, it's a kit that was installed by another firm. And there's a few things that the customer was unhappy with. They actually found us off the back of a YouTube video that we filmed about installing CCTV. So it's a weird turn of events that we're now filming at their house, installing their camera system. But let me run you through some of the problems that they've got, and then we'll start installing our kit. The first of the issues that the customer had is that the cameras were installed all the way on the soffits. Which is great for the installer because it meant it was really easy to fish cables through the loft and drop them down to where the recorder's going. But it doesn't actually give the customer the best visual image. The best way to install cameras is to drop them further down so you get an outward reach rather than a bird's eye view. I'll come on to that later on where we'll show you difference between the cameras that we're installing and the height in which they're installed now. It's the same story with the side camera. The customer wasn't happy with the height in which the camera was installed. He actually wanted it bringing further down. He did ask the company that originally installed this equipment to come back and rectify it, but they wanted to use external conduit, which is actually how he ended up Googling how to install CCTV and found us. The final thing that the customer was unhappy with is more of a technicality. The customer obviously has a smartphone and a tablet, but they also wanted to be able to view the CCTV on their laptop. Now that's usually something I steer most customers away from, but it is possible. There is software that Hikvision make. This isn't a Hik product that the customers had installed already. He hasn't actually complained about the quality of the images produced by these cameras, but it was more just the after service that he'd had that he was unhappy with. In replacing this equipment, the customer has spared no expense in just going for the top of the range kit. So we're installing 3 4K colour view cameras, the Gen 3 versions, and we're installing one of the brand spanking new Hikvision AI recorders. There's bits and pieces we can use off the old kit, so like the hard drive can be reused. And we're hoping to reuse some of the cabling, especially to the front camera, just to save us a little bit of time. So we're going to make a start on installing the new cameras and the new cabling, and we're going to use a technique that we've used and we've documented before, but it's called cavity drilling, where we drill at a particular angle to help us fish cables through the cavity into the loft. And will mean that the cameras will be at a much lower angle. But first things first, I'm going to jump in the loft and just double check the cavities just to make sure there's no obvious trays or obstacles in our way up there. So I'm going to go and do that now. Oh, I've just like twinged my neck. Getting way too old to climb in lofts. I've just had a look, and down the loft there I can see loads of like little pellet balls of insulation, which tells me I don't think there's any obstruction into that cavity. I'd just like to check just before I start drilling. There's not worse than drilling into a corner and then finding that there's a big metal cavity tray all the way along. So we'll make our way out of here and go back downstairs and start drilling it. We've had a conversation with the customer, and instead of installing the camera in the original location because of interference from the smoke off the flue, and I just personally think he'll get a better coverage if the camera was installed here, looking outwards, rather than looking down onto the garden. Now in terms of height of the camera, we probably want to be no more than there really. We could, in theory, measure the distance between them two ledges and go bang centre if we wanted to make it look like it was meant to be there. Do you know what I mean? But I reckon that's not far off being bang centre there. Now to do this technique, we've shown it before, but we drill in straight perpendicular, square. We drill in straight into the wall, and then as it eats into the mortar, we bring it down, so that eventually we'll drill it at an angle that gets us upwards, because we want the rod to travel at a distance. There is a knack to getting this right. It's not just about pulling the trigger and pulling the drill down and just wait until it pops through, because you want it to eat through the first course of brick. What you don't want it to do is start eating into the internal block, because what you'll do then is as your rod goes in, it will just fire into a cavity. Cavity is the wrong word. It'll fire into a crater that you've created in the other skin. So it's crunch time. There's no going back now. Yep, there we are. It's hard to explain how the feeling is, but it's almost like there's resistance pushing on the top of the drill, And that's well hot. It's almost like there's resistance pushing on the top of the drill. And then as you just gently push on the back of the drill, you just feel it go, oof, and then the resistance goes. But if you carry on drilling at that point, all you'll do is fire it into the second course of brick, and that'll mean that your rod will essentially just follow the drill and bury itself in the back side of the cavity. So what we need to do now is, yeah, you can even see that some of the insulation balls are coming out. So I want to be quick with this so that we're not losing any of his wall insulation. Yeah, that's definitely up there. That's definitely up there somewhere. Right, let's tape some cable to that. Nice one, lad.
The polystyrene beads coming out of that then?
Yeah, which tells me we're definitely in cavity. And there's even like resistance up there where I can hear them all like moving about. You should be able to just feed that out. Right, because we've pulled the cable to length now, we can start mounting the camera. What I used to do years ago, or earlier in the journey of installing cameras, is I'd fly all the cables in and then go back around mounting the cameras. Sorry. Now I've just found it quicker. Run cable, mount camera, move your ladders to the next station, move cable, do cable, mount camera, rather than moving your ladders all the way around the house and then coming all the way back with them. I felt like windburnt yesterday. Did you feel a bit windburnt when you got home? You know, like when you're out in the sun and the wind?
I felt something, mate. I don't know if it was windburnt. It was in French and all that.
Connor didn't have a good day yesterday, did you, mate?
It was one of them days, Dean. You know when you put something down, you're like, oh, where's it gone? Where's the keys? Where's the Oh, I forgot the up and down ladders. I went to move ladders around fun fair equipment.
I thought he was actually genuinely going to put his stuff in van and just go home at one point. I was waiting to be up a ladder and watch the van just drive off.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. I'd have left the van parked there and walked home. And got home off him and calmed down and be like, oh no.
Right, can I have DAS silicon, please? They're gonna come out at like oh, he's giving me gooey end. It's all right. It's all right.
Come on. Typical boss.
Right, you may take that from me. Thank you.
Gooey end back.
Yeah, you are.
Oh yeah, it's like that, is it? Pete's not got his silicon gun license just yet, so he's operating on license.
I didn't do that training course.
Too hard for him.
It is. I couldn't pass theory. Top tip for when I'm installing these hit cameras, I always put the retaining clip or the retaining thing to the side, to the bottom left or to the bottom. That way you're not fighting with the camera, trying to hook the camera on over the tabs and then try and fight with a screwdriver over the top at camera. Today's absolutely fine because we've got beautiful weather and it's not raining and there's not much wind, but it's always the case that when it's absolutely throwing it down and it's windy as out, you'll fight with a camera if you try and do it the opposite way around. Last thing to mention when you're installing the camera is, and we do this every time, just angle it where you think it might need to go. 9 times out of 10, you'll get it somewhere near right or pretty much bob on. And it means when you've took your ladders round the house to the other cameras, you don't have to come all the way back to re-angle them for the... You're never going to get it perfect. But 9 times out of 10, the customers just somewhat happy with where it's pointing. There is the first camera, all set up and installed, no cables on show. The hardest camera is going to be the side one, which we'll move on to now. That's the bottom of the camera in it. Let's just see if we can make it symmetrical for the customer. Yes, I think we can. I think we can. I think if we drill it there. Let's have a look what the camera will see. Yeah, do you know what? That's not a bad view, that. It's going to get up garage. It'll duck underneath that aircon unit. We might want to bring it in and up a bit to there because it's a gable end. I'm going to have to take a brick out in the loft, and taking a brick out in that corner will be the least fun thing I've done all week. I reckon if we use the camera hole as a reference and I take out the brick, that way I might be able to take the back of the brick out around that area, and I still might be able to put it there but rod it in an angle up and come out. Do you know what I mean? Let's go and weigh it up there. Where's Head Torch got to?
I've got it. Yeah. I'll give you this plate so you don't accuse me of nicking it. It's a pen. Crayons.
It's a crayon. You've broke the end of it.
What do you mean I broke the end of it?
Look, there's supposed to be like a pumping thing on that.
Oh, that's a cap thing.
Yeah. Where's that gone? Do you know what? He has till for 5 minutes. Oh, it is very much in the corner. I'm half tempted to take that one out, you know, just to make life a bit easier than trying to cut that one out, because you can see how close that soil stack is there. I reckon I can probably cut that brick in half and get the back of it out. I'll be able to replace it back afterwards. Right, let's get, we need angle grinder, SDS, headphones, the full shebang. Let's get out of here.
I didn't bring my bag actually, I brought you a little gift.
What did you bring?
I've got about 5 SDS Hilti bits you can have. I had a Hilti years ago, it packed up.
You had a Hilti?
Yeah, but
what were you doing with a Hilti?
Because I had a...
Hang on, were you involved in a diamond heist here in London about a good few years ago?
Just...
Hell, this whole wall's moving. Now that we've got the internal part of this cavity drill sorted, we need to get the external part done. We were talking before about how we need to watch out the way of this gas main that runs up to the boiler. We've took a brick out in the loft. I reckon that we drill this camera here and then try and rod it up so that it's meeting the hole that we've drilled. That was incredibly hard to film because I'm trying to hold the camera with one hand, but I managed to reach into the cavity and grab the cable out of the hole that we've created. We'll now drop that down into where the recorder's going in the bedroom, and we can basically seal this hole with some of the fire foam that we've got in the van, and that'll be good as new. All the gaps are all sealed as they should be. There we are, that'll expand over to a bit of time and seal up all the little gaps and crevices. Which means the last thing to do is to mount the front camera, the side camera, and then we can get on with the recorder. If you want a brew, just knock on for one. So you can stop for a brew whenever you want.
I've got a flask.
Oh, you have? You've got your Stanley, haven't you?
Yeah,
Is that your girlfriend's or yours, that one?
Well.
All right. Just, you never know these days. Or is it
your Stanley have always done them before they introduced all this fancy girly stuff.
When I was in the ATC.
Oh, right. You were at Air Cadets?
Yeah.
I was at Air Cadets as well, you know. I only did Air Cadets though, because my sister did it.
Hold on, and you're calling me for having a Stanley?
That backfired, didn't it?
Yeah.
I should have opened my mouth then. What a beautiful day.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It's great to be alive on days like today, isn't it?
It's that grip, Pete. You taught me well. Get your 2 fingers in there and find that particular spot, and everyone is happy. There were your words on day one. 3-man job.
3-man job again. 3-man job. How can I have that as the... He genuinely passed it to you, you passed it to me. Oh my God.
Keep a clip of that, Abe, that would be funny.
The lads have just stopped to get some dinner, and while they're doing that, I might as well crack on with getting the recorder all set up. That is the recorder all set up and connected. You can see that the cameras have all come online. There's just a few quick little settings that I'm going to change on the recorder to make sure it's ready for the customer. The final thing I need to do is connect it to the internet, and I'm going to use one of these TP-Link plug-in extenders. In our first video, we got absolutely slated on our first installation video about how we installed the connection to the internet. And over the years, I've learned to trust these TP-Link plug-in extenders more and more. The original ones where you had 2 of these and you plugged one in downstairs and one in upstairs were very finicky and very flaky, but these seem to be a massive improvement. Now, what I'm not saying is that you should rely on a TP-Link plug-in extender or a Wi-Fi extender if you can get a cable to the recorder. If you can get a cable to the recorder, you might as well just cable it, because it's going to be a more stable connection and it's just going to run into less issues. But like in this house where we can't really get a cable to the router, we're going to use one of these. So let's get that all plugged in. Which means the last thing that I need to do is to set up the customer's app, set up the customer's tablet and his laptop so he can access his brand spanking new 4K AI powered CCTV cameras. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Bit of a laid back approach. We've learned that both me and Dean were in the Air Cadets, that Connor has a Stanley flask that we didn't know about, and I'm allergic to summer. I'll catch you guys in the next one.